Yeah. So what are you going to, what's the next project that you're going to be working on? I saw something on Instagram. Maybe that's what you want to talk about, where you're looking for actors for
Oh,
big
yes.
scale
Um,
production.
oh, girl. Listen. I was looking for plays. I was looking to for female because okay, let me breathe a bit. What I'm working on, I'm writing the play I told you about. My, that's another
Mhm.
that play, and I'm writing my novel, which I've been writing it since January last year, I think,
Mhm.
and it's getting there. I'm excited about it's my second novel that I'm writing, and I am directing a play that's gonna open in August. We don't know yet whether it's gonna happen in a theater or it's gonna happen online. And also now I am a script writing and acting lecturer in a
Wow.
university.
Oh, wow.
That's why I was looking for plays because with the program that I'm in, the vision that I have, would like to connect more of um, African voices,
Mhm.
contemporary African voices, women voices, and producing their works in the university. And I have that platform that allows me to do that. And also translating these plays into isiZulu.
Mhm.
And I think that's exciting
Wow.
because then that means
Mhm.
students will have access to contemporary plays
Mhm.
um, written in their language, in a language they understand, with contemporary themes that they go through.
Mhm.
It's not that I have anything against in Shakespeare. No, I'm not. But we need sometimes to read or do plays that are for us, where we recognize our ways, our cultures, our traditions, the way we speak, when we talk about food, how how do we see that on stage? I'm interested in rituals and tradition and how magic and tradition and fantasy is seen on stage using our culture. How do we understand witchcraft as creators? How do we translate that? Things like that. How do we see success in told in our language? How do we translate female pleasure in our languages? How do we translate queerness in our languages?
Mhm.
So issues that we face in a daily life, not everybody who's going to be watching this, but I'm tired of hearing about apartheid. There's so much more we can. There's so much more we can tell. You know, there was a show that was written I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago called Fees Must Fall. Brilliant,
Mhm.
brilliant. That play resonated with the youth, with the young people, resonated with the times, resonated with what is happening. Contemporary voices and how do they tackle heavy subject matters, and
Mhm.
in theater, um, how do we actually translate all these big people who came with methods of creating theater in our languages? you know how do we translate Gibson Kenter's way of making theater in our languages? you know
Mhm.
and each country in the continent has the person who has found ways of making theater, and we
Mhm.
want to know all of those people.
Mhm.
So with the space that I'm in right now, it's DUT, I'm able to do that, to realize the dream, but it's to connect Almasi, to connect AWP, and to connect all these amazing spaces in the continent. Because I want Zaza to come give a lecture about creating plays. I want Zaza's plays to be directed by our students, to connect more to who we are as young people. And I'm a young blood, I think, and I know what I want to hear and I know what I want to see. So that's the whole idea now that I'm working on. But it's going to take time because I still also need the process to, I need to, and I need the idea to grow in my head. I need to understand what exactly do I want to do with the space I'm given. How do I open the space to the continent, to universities around the continent. So yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm excited. It sounds incredible, and I bet when it happens, it will be amazing. It'll be great. It'll be like, I heard about it first.
And you're right. I didn't speak about it because I'm also very little bit secretive. So, but I think I'm in a space where I feel confident of who I'm becoming as a creator as well. And I'm in a safe space. I feel like you are giving me a safe space to just vomit, vomit,
You should be able to do that and be that, and not be these rigid type of human beings that are supposed to fit into these little spaces that are created for us, constrained spaces and such. So what has been the best advice that you've ever received in your life?
Oh wow. Best advice I have received and in my life would be work with people who are better than you. Work with people who are better than you. Because what that means is that you will be challenged. You get room because the person who's there, who you work with, is not in the same caliber as you, and they know, they have experience, and they went through what you are going through right now. So work with people who are better than you. That way you're gonna grow. That's the best one. That's the best advice I got.
So it's like throw yourself into the deep end. Like just go and be there. And
yeah. But you think about it though. If you are working Nabandala Pants work or people who you are in grade 7 and you are working with grade 1s, what you gonna learn there? My examples are horrible, but I'm trying to explain what I mean, But you are in grade 7, ending up working with someone who's doing their first year in university. That's something else. Because they've been to grade 8, they've been to grade 7, they've been to grade 12, and they're coming in with incredible knowledge and experience, and but also it means that you must work with people, yes, who are better than you, but who are willing to help you grow. Because it sucks to work with someone who's a prima donna, who is full of ego, and they're not willing to, help you grow, And yeah, I hate that. You should work with someone who's better than you, but who's willing to allow you to grow. That's the goal, for you to become better as well, even better than them.
Wow, that is really good advice. And I think some of these things you'll be doing them without realizing that you're doing them. But now when you get that advice, it's like now you're going to become more purposeful and more intentional about following that advice. So that it kind of also guides in terms of, oh, I can't do this thing because really I'm not going to be challenged, I'm not going to grow, so why should I? Unless maybe I'm also helping someone else to grow, then maybe I'll take it up. Yeah. Great. And
I've,
please
I'm sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. You know, I'm
I
trying to
was,
go through the questions, so it's.
yes, yes. I was just gonna say I was in a situation where I got a chance to work with someone who was better than me,
Mhm,
but they did not want me to grow.
mhm,
Instead, they sabotage me, my growth, my space. And imagine you look up to this person, you know what they have been doing all these years. You've been watching these people on television,
mhm,
and you get a chance to be face to face with these people. And they are the ones worse. They are our best mommy, and they are bringing you down. That's
mhm,
the worst feeling ever. And I
mhm,
wanted to say that really you need to find someone who's better than you, but who's also your champion. Someone who's like, yes,
mhm,
it's hard now, but you can get there. You know, yeah,
mhm,
yeah.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. And worst advice you've ever received? You'll be like, I wish I had never heard that. Please let me and remember it.
So there was this famous director who passed away. May
Mhm,
his soul rest in peace,
mhm,
somewhere in the realms of death. So anyway, so this particular director, he mm, told me I'm talentless and I should work at Checkers. I should go and work at Checkers. So that was an advice, and he was strongly believing that you are not meant to be here. What? So it was after an audition, and it's like
mhm,
you are not meant to be here. So you should go to Checkers. I was like, okay. I cried, and for years we would meet when we were watching shows. This director would have productions, and I would not go because
mhm,
I'm reminded of how that affected me as a creator. And
mhm,
if I did take that advice, I think I would not have been in this space. And if I did take that advice, I would have not be in 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 spaces that with him, this person, because me growing and continuing not listening to the bad advice, it allowed me to even be better than him,
mhm,
you know. But that was the worst advice of someone who thinks because someone has a bigger chair, they have authority that moment for a second, and they instead of enveloping that dream, you think you are made. I don't know what you think you are. They're thinking that I don't know when a person kills a young actor's dream, what do they achieve with that, you
I,
know. I
yeah,
don't
doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a momentarily satisfaction, I think, for for that person in a bigger chair, because they're sitting there and thinking, oh yeah, you know what, I know talent and you don't have it, you know. Even if there was a case, even if I was talentless, if even if there was a case, there's a way of speaking, there's a way of because there are those young creators that you feel ish, you are good in administrating, not directing, you
Mhm,
know. So there is a way of talking to that person, because you talking, they are in a vulnerable space, they look up to you, one, and
mhm,
they see what you have done, and if you use your voice into killing that young person's dream, you are killing that human being, you know. So we need to be careful how do we speak to young creators. And I always go back to me, to the young person, because I don't want to throw away the young person in me. That's how I'm able to relate, that's how I'm able to still even today connect to young creators, but also that's how I'm able to not hate a young talent,
mhm,
because I know I've been there, you
mhm,
know.
mhm,
And the only thing, even like nowadays, there's so many things happening in films, film sets, you know, da 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 da. And these kids wanna, what they wanna hear from you, because you were in film set. Did you ever? you know, experience such and such, you know. And if you are saying, yeah, it's not a problem, or you are hurting that young person's dream or their possibility to survive whatever horrible thing they might have experienced that moment, you know. So we need to be careful, because these kids, even if they see us in television, well, I thank God I'm not in television, because that's another stress. That's another stress. you know but the same reception we get from I get from two people, probably a star gets from million people. God, whatever, good luck to them. But I treasure those two young talents, because I know I've been there. I know I am that, because I am young to someone else. You know what I mean? And if you keep in touch with that, you will not give bad advices to young creators. Yeah.
No, that director was terrible. There was, I mean,
Yes.
I think maybe there is a school of thought that believe that, as creators, we have show business. The idea that, yeah, it's about all glitz and glamour and, doing things that are cutting edge and really and being hungry and pushing yourself out there. But I believe in creating and making work that doesn't take away our humanity from us, because at the end of the day, we are doing it for the humans. We're not doing it.
We're not doing it for the robots. We're not doing it. Yes, yes. No, I agree. One thing I usually tell actors, and when I'm directing, or now that I'm in a space of teaching,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, I'm grateful for that, is that you if my students had to do a set of Greek monologues.
Mm-hmm.
Ukuthi why angazi, so but anyway. Oh God, Pili. But my thing was that monologue
Mm-hmm.
is spoken by a human being. Koqala.
Mm-hmm.
It's not spoken by a tree
Mm-hmm.
or a steel or a metal. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, that means you need to humanize that character.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally agree with you that when you create theater, or whatever you're creating is for humans, but
Mm-hmm.
it goes also in creating characters or creating stories. We need to who are coming to see that. If even aliens are something, if we have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I now I'm getting to understand in this moment that when you create anything, whether it's music, whether it's a canvas, you want to capture emotion, you want to capture a human being. You don't want to capture cats or lions. No. So that means you need to tap into the humanness, to what makes that thing human.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm for that as well. I believe in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
um but hey, Mara, other people. So anyway.
Yeah, they'll be looking at this video thinking, that's why you're where you are. You're like, it's fine. I'm happy with where I am. Thank you. Yeah. And what are you reading right now?
I gosh, I'm reading.
I see a lot of things behind you there.
Girl, girl, I have a lot of TBRs. I love reading. I love reading. I do. I'm at the moment. I'm reading Killing Commander. What the hell? See, I'm not going to type it. It's by Haruki Murakami.
Okay.
I just started it, and it's a slow read because
Mm-hmm.
things are happening. I'm just gonna quickly killing comments. I'm killing something. I'm reading that. That's what I'm reading. It's a book by Haruki Murakami,
Mm-hmm.
and my partner, my husband, has been telling me that I should read Haruki, and I did. I read, um, is it 19Q something by Haruki, the big novel he wrote, and I fell in love with how he writes.
Mm-hmm.
And oh wait, do I have it here? Mm, mm. Oh yes. Oh. So this was it took me 4 months.
Uh-huh. Oh wow. Oh yeah. That's
So
is it a play on 1984 by George Orwell? I mean the title.
I don't know. It's 1Q84. Yeah. It's one. So it's a trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's amazing, amazing. It's
Oh wow.
incredible. But it took me 4 months. Good, beautiful 4 months,
It's
and
understandable.
I
Yeah, that is a thick volume.
finished. Yeah. So I'm reading another book he wrote, Killing Commander something. Killing, yeah.
Killing Commander.
Killing Commander. Ah, you know it.
No,
Commander Tor. Yeah.
ah.
Killing, yeah. Commander Tor. Killing Commander Tor. Sometimes I really don't look at the titles. I
Mm-hmm.
really go for the story.
Mm-hmm.
The title, yeah. So I don't know if you
Mm.
can see. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll check
Um,
it out. I'll look for it.
that's
That
what
was
I'm reading. Yes.
interesting.
I'm reading also a lot of short stories online. There is lovely online magazines that are coming up,
Mhm.
that I'm reading sometimes. So when I too much stress and there's nothing to watch on Netflix, then I would really read some short stories. You should check it out. It's Lolwe and Isele. Um, there's also uh, something pot. I don't know. Yeah, I'm reading a lot of online stuff. Sometimes I don't even know where I get these stories,
Mhm.
and sometimes and I'm reading a lot of plays. So African playwrights around the continent and the diaspora are sending me plays. I'm reading a lot of plays, and quite interesting as well to see. And I'm happy I'm doing that because
Mhm.
it also helps me as a playwright to go back and visit plays that I'm afraid to tap into to see how playwrights are writing their own stories.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what are you reading?
Oh, that is a good question. I've got a couple of books in my bedroom that my sister's always saying, if you're not reading them, just put them back on the shelf and take them when you're reading them. And I'm like, "No, I'm reading them right now. I'm reading them right now." And it also it has to kind of like push me to say, oh, I have to read this book. I have to finish reading this. So I've been reading this book called Biology, which is really about neuromarketing, neuroscience in marketing, and how the power of suggestion and using
Yeah,
science,
yeah,
and how it can also be used for the greater good. So I'm reading that. I haven't finished it. I've been reading this since last year. This one I don't know.
yeah,
It has been taking a long time to finish reading it. Not because it's horrible, but I think when you're reading something where you know that you're learning something, you want to make sure that you're going through each and every page and you really are taking in everything that you're reading, and also even just interrogating it before you move on to the next thing, you know.
yeah,
And then I'm reading this uh, book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I think you've heard about it, the motivational. Um,
yeah.
yes.
I can't read motivational stuff. I can't. And a lot of people have read that book. I'm curious
it's
what it
it's
is. What's
it's quite different because I also was I never used to look at motivational books as good literature. I mean, I just have to put it out there. So I never used to read motivational
yeah,
books. I'll be like, I could actually read a novel and learn something from it, or
yeah,
read someone's biography and learn something from it. So, but this one it reads quite different from the usual motivational books. Um, so hopefully, yeah, I won't be raging against the machine when I finish reading it, and I discover that it wasn't worth my time. But I think so far it is worth my
yeah.
time. Um,
Okay.
which other book? I was reading this other book. I finished it. This one, it was very easy for me to finish it for some reason. And I'm also reading They Called You Dambudzo, part biography, part, I don't know, by Philisiwe Twijnstra-3, where she's writing about her relationship with Dambudzo Marechera, and also even just the process of then archiving work and making it accessible to people. So I'm reading that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's an interesting story, and it gives me, and every time something to do with Dambudzo or Flora always comes up, there's always this public argument or discussion, I don't know what it is, about the owners of story, and in terms of if a Black person dies, who should be given power to tell that story or to share story with other people. But then there's always, my understanding of it is that if she hadn't done that work, would we still have access, or would we have actually found his writing post his death? So I don't know. it's an but I know that the work that we have access to, the books that were published when he was alive, the books that were published post his death, and you can't discredit the work that someone gives because of their race, or because you feel that maybe this person was taking advantage. But then if we don't have a process of archiving our stories and our creativity as Black people, and if there are people who, whether it is out of the goodness of their heart or out of other reasons they do that, then we shouldn't then stand on a little hill and start saying, why are they doing this? When actually, when in our own communities, we're not doing anything. We are putting the systems in place to then archive our stories and, memorizing our history. So yeah, so it's one of those books that I'm reading, and I'm also reading one of my favorite science fiction writers, Octavia E. Butler. I'm reading her second.
Who's that?
Octavia E. Butler. She's an African American science fiction author. Yeah, so I'm reading.
Can you believe I have never read her work?
You should look for it. She's I think I'd heard so much about her and hadn't read anything until a friend lent me her collection of short stories, which is titled Blood Child and Other Stories. So Blood Child, everyone loves saying how it is the pregnant man story, where in a future tense, human beings are living on this planet, but they are visitors. So the host of that planet, they then have this symbiotic relationship with humans, where the male children or the male people of the humans have to then become surrogates for the host's eggs or babies, whatever, and the female humans are not are supposed to be left alone because they're supposed to keep on birthing more humans. So it is quite interesting. It's really incredible. It's really amazing. Is
it Black Child?
Yeah, Blood Child.
Black Child.
Blood Child.
Blood. Oh my God, I am getting this. I am getting this.
Yeah, she and I love her narrative style. Is so simple. It's like you're sitting around a fire listening to Mama Butler speaking to you.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get this. I have a thing with great writers. I feel I can't just jump into, like, there was this thing happening in early last year where everyone was reading Sula by
Toni Morrison.
By Toni, Mom Toni. So everyone was just like, I think when she passed on, excuse me, everyone was like on the wagon of, oh, we need to read. And I've never read her work, and I've always, my writer mentor Cobus was like, you need to read her. probably you're going to get something. And I've always been intimidated
Oh.
by great writers. And I'm reminded of, it goes back to that thing with work work with people who are better than you. But then I feel like I need to prepare myself for to be reminded what you need to, there's so much road to go through to get to where this book is. And I'm reminded that I'm not that good. So I'm like, ish, I need to prepare my brain, everything in my space to jump into reading Toni. And I did. And I did. And I read 3 of her work. And I took a
which ones besides Sula did you read?
I read is it Messy? I think I read Messy. And I just go to, I don't have, my memory is horrible and I'm an actor. I'm gonna say Toni Morrison books. And I went to a bookshop, not going to, oh, God Help the Child. I did not like God Help the Child, actually. I was so critical of it and I don't know why. I read Beloved as well.
I read Love.
Bluest Eye. The Bluest Eye, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The Bluest Eye was amazing. The Bluest Eye was amazing. Beloved was incredible. But I watched the film first. And I read Messy.
What about Sula? Sula is also really incredible.
To be honest, I didn't read Sula. It's just that everyone was reading Sula. And I said, okay, let me start with the Bluest Eye. And I felt like I was not a writer because every writer I follow on Instagram is like, they are busy with Mom Toni's work. And I was like, what am I doing? You know? Same thing with Octavia's work. I have never read anything. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that book you mentioned because I don't know. I feel like I have so many ideas in my head as a writer, a fiction writer as well. So I have these weird ideas. Sometimes I don't think it's good to, excuse me, it's good to have so many ideas.
It is, but sometimes it is not a terrible thing to have so many ideas. The problem is when you don't have an idea at all. Then
yeah. No, but then I would read Octavia's work and I feel like, ish, now it's gonna look like I stole her idea, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't read anything. But it's just me thinking, I don't know, it's just my mental illness taking over sometimes. But I think it's been a while then. I need to dive into reading Octavia's work, and I will. I think the first book is gonna be Black Child, and I will let you know how it goes. And I'm excited now because I sometimes I don't even read synopsis. I don't know. I even hear, oh, sci-fi or fantasy writer, it's Octavia Buckley. I'm like, ooh, okay. But now I will. I promise I will.
And I mean, it's incredible how she transposes issues, everyday issues, or issues that are happening within, and then she puts them within the space of science fiction. So issues to do with race or alienation, belonging, all of those things. And she's so smart about it. She's so clever about it. But you don't feel like someone is taking you for a ride. It's just like
I've been missing it out.
Yeah, it's like you feel like I hope I'm not overselling here, but this is my experience. So.
No, you're not. I've told many times that I need to read her work, and I will. Oh my God, I've been missing out.
Yeah, as a huge fan of Octavia, yeah, I would say you are.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna be reading her work. I will. Now I should put Haruki Murakami on the side and just read Octavia's work for now.
You don't have to put it on the side. Be like me. Read many things at the same time. It works better.
Yes.
You read a chapter. You're like, okay, I'll stop here for now. I'm going to the next.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
All right.